All right, take two. I didn't hit record the first time I did this intro, but hey everybody, it's Dodgy Yeti here, and I am here to let you know that we had some stuff pop up, and we weren't able to do a podcast, and I'm here to kind of let you guys know, and I'm also going to give you a little bit of a tide over video, and the video I've been wanting to make this video for a little bit because we got the news around like last October that New World is what I started playing on this channel, and it's a game very near and dear to my heart. Whenever I was off work, injured, I couldn't really do a whole lot of anything, so started playing games, and New World was the thing that I found that the news that it was shutting down made me kind of sad. So I figured at some point I was gonna do a last look kind of celebration of life for this game. Yeah, here we go then. All right, so here we are with New World, and it's telling me to select a world, so not just play. Of course, Old Valhalla is the only one left. Well, back into it. Oh man, I do not know what I was doing whenever I last logged off. Do not know at all, but man, I don't think any other game will ever be able to. I hope there is one, but there's not one out right now that can replicate the combat like one to one for this game, because it was, to me, it's the best combat out in an MMO that's active right now. I think there's some MMOs that are coming out later on that have a similar combat style, so I'm very, very excited for that. But right now, as it sits, there is not one that I know. Old Drumstick, man, was a great mount. I think they did mounts pretty well in this game, but they just didn't have a good enough variety of mounts for me. This game was awesome, man. It was really my first MMO that I ever really got into. It was really the first game where I interacted with the community as well. I'm a solo player on a lot of the games that I play, and even if they're multiplayer, Call of Duty, like making montages and stuff, like I only ever really hung out or talked with one other person, maybe two. But this game, I actually interacted with quite a bit of people. I even tried to get tournaments going. Like I was pretty interactive, but man, some of the stories when it comes to some of the people in here, like Botasi. Botasi was a guy that I met whenever I was off work, and he was a stay-at-home dad. He really liked to just go out and gather materials while everybody was at work, but in the PvP zone. And even in the PvP zone, you would come across players and they would kill you. So he didn't go there all too often to farm up materials. So I said, I like PvP. So I said, hey, I'll go there. I'll be your bodyguard. So for the longest time, for quite a while, at like 9, 10 o'clock, I'd get on and he'd be there, and we would go to the PvP zone for about an hour, and then he'd switch to his wife's account, farm some stuff up for her, and that was how it started off my mornings on this game. It was really cool. And of course, you all know him, you all love him. There's Q with his friar haircut. Uh, this ferryman's sorrow guy. He was awesome. Me and him came across each other in PvP, and then I started going to the PvP area. Um, we he kind of showed me the ropes whenever it came to the PvP area, because whenever we met, I was just doing like 3-on-3s and having fun with that. It was a whole separate set of rules when it came to the PvP area, and I had a bunch of fun whenever I was over there. If I have any of the clips, I'll put some of the clips up. There's another lady that was on my friends list. I don't know if she's just quit or if she ended up removing me or what, but big thanks to her. It was Mama something. I can't remember the full name, but whenever I got into PvP, I started getting more into everything, and I wanted to go do the raid. She was hosting a learning raid, and I went into the learning raid. I went into a couple of the learning raids, and I got by the first boss, no issue, and she ended up telling me off to the side that she thought that if I got with some people, I could actually make it through. Well, I tried doing that, and as far as we got was the second boss, and then everybody would die, and I would be standing there holding my Johnson. There would be a handful of us left, but I normally made it to the last few. I went and I started farming. I ran this. I ended up doing this run through the Brimstone Sands, where you just went after ancient coffins and stuff like that, and got a bunch of gold together, and I paid gold. I paid to get a carry through the raid. And when it came time for me to do the raid, I went through the raid. I did well in the raid. The guy who I paid to get the carry from actually told me that he thought that I did very well, and he doesn't have a very big lineup of DPSs to pull from that won't just die at any time. And he said that he liked how I stayed alive, and that he would like to be able to call on me again from some more raids. I said yes, and I paid for a carry. And you know what? I'm not ashamed to say it. It is what it is. With that group, I was able to go and get completely kitted out. I got a lot of gear in a lot of places, and eventually what kind of took me away from it was, one, the lack of content being released, and I went from just doing like the regular PvP stuff to I was interested in wars. I joined a company that had very big standing in my server, being Valhalla. Some people in there to kind of learn what the meta was, everything like that. Ultimately, what ended up happening was I joined the company and never really got to play with them. I would make sure that I was on in time to do the wars, but I would be signed up, but they would never pick me. And I don't know if it was just because I was new, they didn't think that it was a good idea to pick me, but they never picked me. And I just said, at some point, just kind of said, you know what, it is what it is, and I just did my own thing. If I was there, cool, but I wasn't going out of my way to make it there. So they ended up kicking me from the company and everything like that, which I wasn't doing anything, so makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of the whole shebang whenever it really comes down to it. Is there just wasn't enough content, and I just kind of didn't have a place to go at that point. Like, the wars were what I wanted to try and get into, and it just kind of discouraged me that I actually got into a company that had a decent foothold in my server and made sure that I was there for them and never got picked to go in. So at some point I just stopped showing up, you know? Is what it is. I had no hard feelings toward them. I just kind of, at that point, there were no other companies that I really wanted to try joining because at that point it was really only like one main company for each faction in the entirety of my server that really did anything. I've been trying to find other MMOs that pique my fancy. Not really finding very many that give me the same kind of feel that New World does. I'm still out there looking. So far, Guild Wars 2 is the one that has been the best. The only thing I don't like about Guild Wars 2 is that while horizontal progression is cool, the legendary items take so much to make. But I'm wondering if my best bet isn't to not necessarily make. I'm wondering if my best bet isn't to farm up enough gold in that game to buy the legendary weapons rather than trying to make them myself. Man, this place is deserted. Well, the game is deserted if we're being honest. Like I was saying before, there's a few games that I've been seeing that are going to have a similar feel to New World. It's just they're a ways away from being here, and it just kind of sucks to lose your home at some point. Like, I spent a lot of time in in Eternum and a lot of time with friends in this game, like trying to find my first artifact was a very interesting and fun time because I don't think I have it on me, but the artifact I was after was the Void Gauntlet from down in Elysian Wilds. I wanted that. I wanted that artifact because I'm a fan of lifesteal. Lifesteal is awesome, but I didn't know that I was just going to get completely beat to crap by these gorillas. So, it was a fun time. It was it was a very fun time. Yeah, my only gripe with Guild Wars 2 so far is that like I wish that the legendaries dropped from something. I wish they dropped from bosses or just creatures and everything like that, but they don't, and that sucks. The game that does do that I know of is World of Warcraft, which I tried playing it. I can't. I don't like the tab targeting system. Elder Scrolls Online and Black Desert. Black Desert, I know a lot of people hate on for pay to win, but I figured at the very least I'll give it a shot. If I enjoy the combat enough, I won't be too upset to grind it out. Hey everybody, sorry if I sound a little different. My recording's audio decided to get all wonky on me, and you can't really make out anything that I say for the rest of what I've recorded, but the ending statement pretty much is that's been my journey trying to find a new game, and it's not going all the best, but I am still hopeful. Trying to find a game where I can call my game home, I guess you can say, and plant my flag like I did here in New World. But I am still looking forward to finding that game, and hopefully it's as pretty and as fun as what this game is. Like, look here. This place is just, it looks great. It looks awesome. But it was mismanaged, and we can't do anything about that. And look at me trying to struggle to get up these rocks. I used to get up these rocks all the time, and I can't remember how I used to do it. But yeah, that's been it. That's been Dodgy Yeti. Thank you for listening, and leave any leave any games that I should try in the comments if you've made it this whole way listening to my annoying voice. And I appreciate you. See ya.